Hi guys, my name is Karthik and I am from exitautomation.com and welcome to another video of our test project video series. And in this video we're talking about test project's version 2.0 launch and how test project's version 2.0 has gone everything offline in terms of test execution, recording test and running your local test. Alright, so let's get started. Test project version 2.0 is a major release and has got some of the most breakthrough features which community is looking for quite a long time right now. Something like saving tests locally within our own machine instead of saving in test project's cloud. Similarly, offline recording, like recording the test from the test project platform, but still storing the test steps within our local machine and running the test in the test project's agent via offline channel instead of running it in conjunction with test project's token and using the test project cloud. So completely offline instead of talking to the test project cloud itself. And then there is a test project agent CLI, which has got even more power to run tests from a command line interface instead of always running it from our IDE. And finally, you can also tag your test based on the tag that you're looking for, like smoke test or regression test or AI test, something like that. So these are the 5 major breakthrough features released in test project version 2.0, and we are going to see a couple of them in this particular video, and then in part 2 we'll be discussing the rest of them. So the first one is saving tests locally. So this save tests locally will actually enable us to save our tests locally within our own machine, and we can run them from our local machine using test project's CLI. So this is really cool to see that we can have a full control of our test within our own machine. And the saving operation we can do in 2 ways. One is just as a config file, we can download all the parameters, or we can also download as a test package where we can also modify even a lot more thing like parameters, browser configurations and stuff. That's why there is a download as test package option available. So the one that you don't check this box, download as test package, the code will be generated for you like a YAML file, and it's going to look something like this. And it will have all the details that your test is actually expecting for, something like the platform, the type, and the driver type which has been used, and the device ID which has been used to run the test and stuff. So this is how we can actually run our test within our own local machine using the test project's CLI, which we're going to be discussing, of course, in this particular video. And then offline recording. So this is another major breakthrough from test project where we can actually record our test and also save the test within our own local file or local machine, something like this. So you can see there is an option called save the test on the cloud or on the file, and the file is going to be the exact same YAML file that we just saw over here. So that's how the offline recording is going to work as well. And then offline agent. We can also run the whole test by unregistering our test project agent within our machine, and then we can start running the test completely offline instead of having any online connectivity with the test project platform, which is also really cool because we will have the full test execution within our local machine. At the same time, we get the intuitive report that we get from the test project's platform. And then the test project CLI. And again, test project CLI is nothing but the test project's command line interface, which actually help us run the test within our own local machine. So we can run either the test package, as you can see over here, like run the execution package file, or the YAML file that I just showed you. We can also run that. So we can do that in either Mac or in Windows operating system, depending on the machine of your choice. And finally, the test project's tagging. So this tagging, as you could see, will have a better readability of our test, categorizing our test, and we can search the test based on the taggings as well. So these are some of the 5 major features introduced in test projects version 2.0, and it's going to be completely awesome when we try using it. So let's quickly see everything in action and understand how things work. So for that, I'm going to flip to my test projects platform. So this is my test project platform, and I already have 2 tests recorded, and I'm going to show you how the offline tests are going to be looking like. So if I just gonna select these 3 dots over here, you can see there is an option called a save as file. So this is a new feature just recently introduced where we can actually save our test as a file. And all I'm going to do is I'm not going to select this checkbox this time, and if I save the test, all it's going to do is it's going to generate a YAML file for us, as you can see over here. So we can actually open up this file, as you can see over here, and you will see that this particular test actually has got the details of how the test is going to be executing. So it's going to have the project name from where the test is actually been sitting, like test project AI. It also has the name of the test, and the platform is web, and it's going to be using the driver type as Chrome. And then the details like the automation assistant is true, and it has a sleep times and all those details. So basically it also has the automation assistant as a part of this particular configuration, meaning we also get the same artificial intelligence assistant along with our offline execution. And also, as I told you, we get the nice, beautiful report as a part of this test execution. And I will quickly show you how the test is going to look like while it runs. So basically, I'm just going to leave this guy as it is. And we have this guy over here, the test. And I'm going to open the terminal, as you can see over here. Within this terminal, actually, all we're going to do is like TestProject-agent. So if I hit this and if I hit enter, you can see that it will actually show all the different commands that we can use to perform the actions. So basically my agent is currently up and running, and I know that it is running. So if I try doing the start here, it says that the agent is already running, which is cool. And now I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do TestProject-agent of run. And then if I drag and drop this file that I have got, like if I copy this path and if I paste it over here, and if I try running this particular test right now, you will see that the execution actually begins within my local test project agent. But actually, this test project agent is currently talking to my test project platform. So it is not running completely offline. The test project agent is currently being registered within my test project platform. And as you can see here, the monitor, it tells you that the pb test/web is currently running. And if I go back to my pb test over here, you will see that the test execution is currently running by Karthik KK over here on the Windows agent. So it has all the details like how the test is currently being executing. But once the test execution is completely done, you will see that there is going to be an execution report for me. So I can just copy this report, and if I go back over here and if I hit enter, you can see that this is the local report coming in from my test projects agent, generated the test running in my local machine, as well as the report generated for me in the local machine over here. So this is one of the cool things that we can actually get as a part of test project's local test execution along with the local report. And this way we can also ensure that we can able to run the test from within our local machine. And if we wanted to change the browser, probably if I want to use Firefox or something like that, I can go straight away over here and I can change the driver type from Chrome to probably Firefox. If I just save this, and if I try running the test this time, it should basically open me a Firefox browser. But this is not the right way of actually doing it to open a Firefox. You can see that it is even not changing. Even if I change the driver type to Firefox over here, it is not working fine. The way I'm actually doing it is currently not correct. All we need to do is we need to actually use the other option, which I just showed you. So if we go back to our project over here, and if we go to our pb test, and if I just save the file, and if I try to download this as a test project, this is where things are very interesting. Here we can actually choose the target like Chrome or Firefox, something like that. And if we try to save as a file, this is going to save us like a project, as you can see over here, where it is going to also have the settings.yaml file, which is going to hold all the different settings that we can actually use. So I'll quickly show you how this particular file is going to look like as well. So I'm just going to open the downloads over here, and I'm just going to extract, and there is this folder. And if I open this with VS Code, you will see that there is a package.yaml file, which is nothing but the same sort of test file that we just saw. It also has a driver type as Chrome. But in addition to that, we also have a settings.yaml file, which actually has got the different browsers like Chrome and Firefox. So this is where we can actually tell the test that use the Chrome or Firefox to run our test. Or we can also add additional parameters like Safari or Opera if you really wanted to. And there is also this test parameter.csv file where it actually shows you what is the application URL. So we can change this if we really wanted to. While we have everything in place, I'll also show you how we can actually run this packaged test within the test project's agent. So in order to do that, we're just going to type this test project agent of run, and instead of using the YAML file, this time we are going to be using the zip file that we just downloaded from our test project, which is going to be this one. So I'm just going to copy this path. I'm just going to paste this zip file, and if I try hitting this enter, this is going to execute automatically all the tests sitting within that particular settings.yaml file by choosing the different browsers. And as you can see that it is opening the Chrome browser and it is starting to run the test. And after this test execution is completed, it is then going to run on a Firefox browser, if I'm not wrong. And you can see that the Chrome test execution is completed and it has opened the Firefox this time. And it is starting to run the test. So this way we can actually see that it is running the test on two different browsers without any problem. And the good news is TestProject team has also announced that we can run test in parallel using two different browsers like Chrome and Firefox same time in parallel. But that feature is coming pretty soon. But as of now, we can run them in sequence order like how it is showing over here. And we also got the same report experience even for the package version. So if we just go back to our browser and if I hit enter, you can see that it shows you the Chrome browser result of test execution and then the Firefox version of it. So this way we can ensure that we could able to run our test offline using test projects file as well as package file to run the test within our local machine, and we get a new awesome report. And these are all happening with the help of TestProject's CLI. In our next video, we'll also see how we can run our test in an offline mode completely with the TestProject's offline agent. And we'll also talk a bit about the tagging.